Imagine this. The cards are shuffled not by me, but by the spectators. You have, I don't really have 4 or 5 spectators here, so imagine they each take a card. It doesn't matter which card they take, and they each remember those. Now I'm going to put those on the screen so you can see those. And the spectators can technically put those cards back anywhere in the deck at all that they want. It does not matter. They can put those cards back anywhere in the deck. The moment those cards go back in the deck, the spectators can also continue to shuffle those cards. And remember, my head was turned away the entire time. They can shuffle until their heart's content. Yet, whenever I take the cards, I'm going to start getting some impressions of what I think their cards might be. And I think I'm starting to find them. So let's see. Maybe this one. No, I don't think that one's the one. And then the last one should be most likely that one. I'm pretty sure. Now, you'll have all of the cards there, but these should be the cards that your spectators were thinking of. So remember, the spectator does pretty much everything. They take the card out, they shuffled before, they put the card back anywhere they want, they shuffled after, yet we still have control of every single card. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Javier Fuenmayer. If you want a chance to win the very gimmick we're gonna be making in this video, all you have to do is hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment below letting me know what was the first trick you ever learned. I want to know what started your magic journey, and if you want to know what started mine, take a look at the comments below because I'm going to pin my answer. You're going to see that it's very easy not just to make the gimmick, but the method is pretty simple as well. So don't let that deter you from actually trying it out, because it is this simplicity that I like the most. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to tweak the deck so that we can take advantage of the principle that we're gonna talk about in this video. Then I'm gonna show you how you can perform the trick for one spectator, multiple spectators. I'll give you a couple ideas on how else you can use this tool, because it really is not just a single trick, it's actually more of a tool. And then we'll get into the crediting. The very first thing you're gonna need is a deck of cards. It doesn't matter which deck of cards you use. It could even be like one of these specialty decks or any deck at all that you have. I'm going to be using a bicycle deck, so let's get started. I'm gonna start off by removing the little cellophane here. We don't need it. Get rid of those cards. We don't need those. And then we're also not going to be using the jokers. Take an X-Acto knife. Now, very carefully, you want to make sure that you do this as thin as humanly possible. But what you'll do is you'll take the very edge of that razor and just put a single little line right on that card. Now, we're only doing this on one side of the pip, not on both. So as long as we do it on here, and then we'll go and we'll put a very little tiny scratch. And as you can see, we're just separating the bottom part of that card. And you want to do this with the entire deck. You can actually, I spread them this way, I'm going to be able to take this and just go through the deck like this, as we just scratch off the bottom of each little suit like that. You'll notice that the 7 is the only one that doesn't have the little part at the bottom, so we're just going to put the little mark right at the top, just a little tiny line right there. And then we'll continue with the rest of the deck. The 10, I'll just mark the little circle so that only that has there. The jack goes underneath. On the king, you can either do one of the little legs, or what I like to do with is just right here in the middle of the K. Once you have the entire deck done, now just make sure that all of your markings are facing the same orientation. And now we're ready to begin. Once you have your cards mixed up, now I do want to mention that it was inspired by Ben Earl's book, The Shift, the second volume. This one trick here, slow roll, this is what inspired this little this handling. So if you like this, and even if you don't like this, I highly recommend this book 100%. Check it out. Every single page is worth the value of the book. This is what you do. You have your spectator take any card at all. So they would go take the card out. And now here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and place the card against your chest like that so we can't see it. And then take a little peek at it so only you can see it. You can even show the camera if you want. And then once you've finished, place the card back anywhere at all in the deck. Once that card is back, you can now give the deck to your spectators. They can shuffle the deck as much as they want, even while your back is turned. I know it might be a little weird that I'm looking away because this is a video, but now all you do when they finish shuffling, they give you back the deck, and all you have to do is go through the cards, and immediately you're gonna obviously know which one was the card that they were thinking of, and it was, of course, the 7 of spades. We're using the one-way principle that we build into the deck, but usually that principle is used on the back of the deck. In our case, we're using it in the front, which makes a little bit more sense to take a look at the cards. So let's go through the little actions that you have to do in order to make this trick work. You're going to start off making sure all of your markings are facing the same way, and in this case, away from you, towards the spectators. You're going to now open up the hands, and your spectators are going to remove a card. Now, the moment they remove the card, and if you tell them, I want you to take a card, because you're doing this motion, they will do that motion. So they're going to take that card. The moment they do that, you're going to now follow the same instructions, and you're going to tell them, so go ahead and hold it up against your chest so nobody can see. You're looking away this entire time, and all you tell them is go ahead and take a peek at your card. And as you tell them take a peek at your card, you open up the deck, simulating you peeking the card. In reality, you're looking away. From this orientation, all you're going to do is now grab the deck. And by just doing that action, you're actually reversing the orientation of the deck. You're not looking away, and you tell them once you've taken a look at it, go ahead and put the card back. You're miming them to put the card back in the same way they took it, ensuring that the orientation of this card remains the same while we have secretly shifted this one. So now, when they put that card inside, if we take a look, you'll see that all the cards are normal. They have no little markings, yet the only one that has the marking is there. And that is the reason we started with the markings away from us, because if we start with the markings away from us, after we do the move, they're going to be towards us. So when we are looking through the cards, we're going to be looking at normal cards, and the one that has the little marking will be the one that's going to stand out to us, and we're instantly going to know that that is their card. I think it's pretty straightforward, a very, very quick, easy way to generally lose the card but still have access to the card, letting you reveal it in whichever way you want. So now let's take a look at how you could do this with multiple spectators. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to have you pick a card, you're going to take it and hide it against your chest so nobody can see it. Only you can see that card. And so you do that to all of your spectators. And then you're looking away, you have them look at it, you do the move you just learned, and then you have them return the card. Once the last spectator returns the card, you close the deck, you hand it to them, and you have them shuffle the cards. Now you can very easily find all of those cards in the same way we did with the first version. But what if we want to do it a different way? And this is what that would look like. Instead of having them take the card out, we're going to tell them to just touch the card. They're going to touch one, going to have somebody else touch another, we'll have somebody else touch another. And you can do this with as many spectators as you want. Let's say 4. What we'll do here is we're now going to take the cards out and spread it so they can see those cards. Or we can now hand them the cards and go through the same procedure. But in that action, we have actually already reversed those cards. If you notice, when the cards came out, I rotated them with my middle finger and middle finger. So I just went like this, and I spread them so you could see. You don't have to spread them. You can just hand them to your spectator. They'll take a look at them, and then they'll put them back. The cards will be shuffled, and now you can find all of your spectators' cards in whichever way you want. So now let's talk about some ways in which you can reveal that card. Usually the marking is on the back, the one way is in the back, and it's kind of weird to go through the backs of the cards in order to find the one that has been misoriented. So for those reasons, I kind of like being able to look through the cards. So that's the very most simple way that you could do. You could just tell them, let me see if I can get an impression of which card you took. No, maybe not that one, maybe this one, and then you reveal it like that. But you can very easily also just find the card. Once you see it, you can call that card out and even palm it out completely and have it appear anywhere that you want. So to your spectators' eyes, they took the card, they put it back, they shuffled as much as they wanted. There's no way you could have controlled that card, yet you're able to find the card, load it, and have it appear somewhere. One more thing you could do is, because you are going through the cards, you could give yourself a reason to go through the cards. One reason could be because you're going to do a sandwich effect and you're going to search for the jokers, or you're going to search for the kings, for the pair of kings. And as you do that, you find the card, you call the card to the top. Let's say it was the 2 of clubs here. You call that card as you take, let's say, that queen, and then maybe one more queen. Well, there's the other queen. As you take that queen, really now that 2 is going to be on top. So they think you're just taking these 2 cards out. You can now do any sandwich effect that you know, where you have that card appear in between. And it's just a tool that is going to help you find their card after it has been genuinely lost by the spectators. It goes without saying that you will be able to, of course, just spread the cards on the table and have your spectator pull any card out. If you do this, what I just did, that's going to give you an excuse to fix the cards. So as they are taking a look at the card, tell them, of course you mime it, tell them, go ahead, take a look at the card, and then you're going to put it back. That way they know the actions they need to take. But you take this just to square the cards up and respread it, and now you have them put the card anywhere they want. You can, at this point, if you see them place the card, starting to place the card right, you can at that moment look away to really give the feeling and the illusion that you don't care where that card goes. You tell them, go ahead, square that card in, close everything up, and shuffle the cards. And now you still have control over their card. I did some research on the one-way markings on the face, and the first publication I found was in 1895. I probably can't pronounce the name, so you can see it on the screen here. Later on in 1920, also Charles T. Jordan, he published the reversed court card, where he was also using that same principle. Then in 1935, Theodore Anneman, and It Goes This Way, he used a one-way faces by using scratch marks. Once again, remember, if you don't want to go through the trouble of marking the deck, it took me actually less than 2 minutes to make. But if you don't want to go through the trouble, just comment down below what was the very first trick that you ever learned for a chance to win this very gimmick. I want to give you a huge thank you for sticking till the end of the video. Thank you so much for being here, for spending some time with me today, and I will see you next week on Monday.